Hey guys, we have a really special video for you today.
We have Brian and Enrico, the owner and CEO of Diadora. We had a few minutes to sit down and chat with them about their company and all the cool innovations and what it means to be Diadora.
We all that work here at Fleet Feet Huntsville know that Diadora has a long history in performance footwear, but most of our customers aren't familiar with it. We were just chatting a couple minutes ago. We're often introducing the brand to our customers for the very first time. Can you give us just a brief background on the history of Diadora and what it means, what makes it unique in the industry?
Yeah, it's really interesting because it's an amazing opportunity to introduce something that has amazing athletic heritage. It's Enrico's company. How old is the company, Enrico?
Yeah, almost 80 years now.
Yeah, so he's almost 80 years of making some of the best sports shoes in the world, and running has always been part of the European market, and being able to introduce it here is really fun.
Awesome. Let's talk about you're headquartered in Cairano di San Marco. You do research, development, production, all under one roof there. Talk to us about what does that allow in terms of efficiency, the quality of your product, and how quickly you guys are able to get things to market there.
Yeah, you could start on this one because it's where he goes to work every day.
Yeah, basically that's my job. We are very proud of our headquarters. We are based near Venice, Montepelluno area, which is one of the most important districts in the world for the R&D and production of sports shoes, with a very long history in this kind of business. So it's a very rich in know-how. Our headquarters carry a new R&D center where together with our athletes, we studied the better product, better performing products for our clients. And we have also a small production line for a very niche, made in Italy sports shoes production. And obviously the design center, all in the array of less than 100 steps.
Yeah, which is amazing because if we want to build a shoe, we can conceptualize it, draw it, build the prototype, stitch the shoe together, and test it in the same vicinity. So when you're actually creating something, which is what Enrico I love the most, you could do it in one building.
Yeah. That's amazing. Let's talk about some of the technologies that you guys are doing in your footwear. These are some of the models we carry. The Nucleo 2 just hit our shelves a couple weeks ago. The Cellular, which we have for a few months, we love. And then brand new here, the Frequenza 2 just hit our shelves yesterday. We were just pulling them out of the boxes. So excited to get that one on customers' feet. Cool. You guys have a lot of technologies, the Anima midsole, Blue Shield, your Duratec 5000, and the Didativo insole that you make there. Yep. How should we be talking to our customers about this technology?
I mean, it really goes back to the process that Enrico just described. Because even anima, you could say what anima means, Italian.
Soul.
Yeah, it means soul. Yeah. So it's a double entendre of the soul of a piece of footwear, but the soul of the shoe, because it's the actual thing that makes the shoe work. And when you are able to craft and test shoes in the same vicinity, you're a lot closer to it. So if we test the tempo shoe, because it's a workout shoe, right, and it doesn't give us enough bounce, we could go back and say, hey, the toe box needs to be wider or a little more narrow, or hey, I need to add an extra millimeter to the forefoot to give me some more leverage or whatever. And you do it within days instead of a different process.
Yeah.
So the different compounds and technology we use are just a representation of the process.
Gotcha. Now, Alan and I both really love the Atomo V7000. It's one of our favorite shoes. I'm wearing mine today. I've only worn them twice since I got them because this was a special occasion.
This is my favorite color, by the way.
Yeah,
it's the best.
Let me just take this off so people can see here. It's bright, like I said. It doesn't even smell. I've only worn it a couple days.
That's amazing.
Born in the '80s, raised in the '90s. I'm a '90s kid. Yeah. This to me just screams '90s, and I love everything about it. But talk to us about the decision to produce the V7000 domestically in Italy, and how did that influence Diadora's identity? Or maybe it was the other way around. Maybe Diadora's identity influenced the decision to make the V7000.
Well, for us, being Italian is a real part of our identity and a real thing, given that we are based there. When I took the company over in 2009, I realized that this huge heritage was the starting point to renew the brand awareness. We started with Italian design, but then we decided to invest more and to restart our production in Italy. We also gave new life to the Montebelluna district, restarting production there, reinforcing the Diadora identity, but also giving new life, new force, and new possibilities to our district to make this huge know-how pass to a new generation of artisans.
Yeah, and it's a representation going back to the process of the process, because from the first line we draw on a design sheet to that last stitch that goes on the shoe, it happened in one building. So we want to represent that with a piece of footwear. And yeah, it was inspired by a shoe from the 90s design-wise, but modernized to make a high-mileage cushion trainer.
Alan, you want to take us in?
Awesome. Yeah. All right. So revitalizing the brand. Brian, what strategies have y'all taken to invigorate the brand here in the U.S., and what successes are you seeing?
Revitalization is a interesting word because I look at it a little different. It's almost protection of the brand. And this is a very Italian mindset. The first time I talked to Enrico 9 years ago or so, and our global CEO Claudio, we started talking about protection and taking this measured approach and actually concentrating on the thing we want to do, develop the best footwear in the world. Because once you start thinking about this on the level of a high-end sports car, Italian sports car, or a designer handbag or something, those guys are thinking about the thing, right? Domestically, we're in this race to be the biggest. What doesn't necessarily mean building the best product, because you have to make sacrifices along the way. So it's really a protection of this thing. When we talk about the time that Enrico, myself, everybody at the company puts into developing a new training shoe, if we protect the distribution and think about like running specialty as a channel to champion, we will develop something that is has a higher level of value, and has a higher level of respect. And then we could spend 100% of our time like concentrating on the thing. So it's more of like a protection, not in a negative word, but just like what it allows us to do is focus 100% on building the best training shoe, tempo shoe, racing shoe in the world, instead of just like this false pursuit of I don't know, being the biggest.
Gotcha. So sustainability efforts, and I know this is probably pretty big with you, Brian, because I've known you for a while and I know what you're about. Are there specific sustainability initiatives or goals that you'd like to highlight?
Dude, you say this about me, but Enrico lives in one of the most sustainable houses in Europe, and he's wearing wooden glasses, and my glasses aren't wooden, so he's definitely more of the champion of this.
Let's say that the real source of pride is that for Diadora, sustainability is not a trend. Sustainability is a way to develop our business, just as we look the economical and financial results of our company, we keep in check the sustainability results of our company. We are all sports persons. It's like a marathon. You have to set your long-term goal and follow it step by step, no matter how the sustainability trends change around you. And be consistent with this is for sure the most important goal for us. And also having been able to set goals in all the range of interests the company has. We have sustainability goals on our products, on our headquarters, which by the way works 100% with the renewables, and in the communities we work with.
Nice. Let's see. Market differentiation in an ultra-competitive sportswear landscape. What makes Diadora unique? What should we tell our customers about Diadora?
Well, I mean, I think there's a couple of things, and I'm going to repeat something I said before. But when you put the product first, and I know people say this, I know brands say this, but when you actually put it at the center of everything you do, I think the process to get to that product and the product comes out the other end is just different. When you focus on this task in particular, the journey to get there becomes the thing, You know, you become less about selling something and more about creation.
Gotcha.
I love that.
Yeah.
We want to get to know you guys just a little bit better, your leadership styles, your influences. What or who has been the biggest influence on your leadership style? Not necessarily within Diadora, but just in general, maybe personal growth.
Well, my leadership style, I think that a company is like a glass house. If you want your brand to be recognized in a certain way in the market, you have to act that way inside the company. Otherwise, the results won't come. So, on my vision, Diadora has to be an inclusive company. With inclusive, I mean a company that works so close with all the other stakeholders that it's like taking care one of the other. That has to be the same inside the company. I want Diadora to be a very open working place where we all take care one of the other and where we have the whole and the same dream of making Diadora a world-known brand.
Yeah, I think the really other interesting thing about the pursuit here is the baseline direction. We start off by wanting to create. Yeah, in this case, the tempo shoe, perfect the tempo shoe. The way I grew up in business, the way I grew up in business school, competitors here, competitors in Europe, they start with like, hey, I want to sell something to a customer, right? So this is my target market, this is my muse, and you work backwards. And for us, the creation side is way more valuable because it's more fulfilling. The actual thing that comes out of it will be more resonating, you hope, with the people who appreciate it. But this is a really different way to look at it, like through a creation lens instead of like a straight sales lens.
I love that. Talk to us about any upcoming projects, initiatives you have for the future, like 5 years from now. What can we expect to see coming out of Diadora?
Well, from a general vision point of view, for the foreseeable future, Diadora will pursue this aim of growth in the U.S. based on the collaboration with the distribution, because it's only through the alliance between Diadora and the distribution that we will win the market. So specialized product dedicated to a specialized distribution.
Yeah, and I think some of the our evolution in terms of performance product and some of the things that we will introduce in the next 2 years is going to be really interesting because we're going to be able to, let's say, connect and give product to high school, college kids that they're asking for, like that next path, you know.
Awesome. Well, I'm all out of questions, but I do have just one final thing I want to touch on. I don't know how familiar you gentlemen are with these normalized high mileage hats and other promotional gear that you do. These are a really hot commodity here, especially in our store. And if you leave them unattended for too long, they will be very prone to walk off. So I don't know if y'all can do this for us, but we need a big backup supply of normalized high mileage hats.
No, that's cool. I mean, this is a great.
It's an awesome slogan.
No, thanks. I mean, but it's a great indicator of like we want to do cool stuff. Like we create this ourselves. We even the people we work with, we don't hire like people to come up with ideas for us. We do it internally, and this speaks to like the core runner. What I was talking about last about the stuff I'm excited for. I went to a regional cross country meet and there were a bunch of kids in Diadora, and I would say, "Hey, great shoes. Where'd you get them?" So I want to know where they went, and I didn't introduce myself or anything. I was like, and this one kid's like, "Oh yeah, Diadora. It's the only brand that makes real running shoes." And I was like, "Oh, you know, I'm 50, but these kids now are looking for this thing. They're looking to connect to something that's authentic, you know, and not trying to sell to them that speaks to them." So. No, I appreciate it. But we will get you a small backup of hats.
Customers ask all the time. They're like, "Where did you get it? Do you sell those?"
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, we don't.
Exclusive only. Exclusive only.
But we'll get you a couple for your guys' best friends.
Yeah, we appreciate it, guys. Brian, Enrico, thank you guys so much for sitting down and talking with us. It was an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And we've got some more stuff to do today, so we'll get you guys
Cool.
on the way.
Thanks. Ciao. Perfetto.
We're really, really appreciative to both Brian and Enrico for taking time out of their day during their visit here to Fleet Feet Huntsville-Madison to sit down, talk with us, answer a few of your questions. They were amazing. They're very gracious. And I think their passion about what they're doing, not just with footwear, but with their influence and their leadership in the running industry is really, really apparent. And again, we give them a big thank you from all the folks here at Fleet Feet Huntsville. Have a great one.